Hi, everybody.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. We're back again. We're in a remote place and our
Hopefully this
connection's
one
not
will
too
work.
good. So
Tried a
welcome to
few.
Sunday Night Satsang with John and Michelle.
Yeah, it seems to be holding for now.
Hopefully you can see us and hear us. If you can, just type up a comment and let us know that you can hear us and see us. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're getting some hearts.
We're getting some
Good.
thumbs up.
Excellent.
That's
okay.
a good thing.
Well, welcome. Yeah, we're away in the garden route, and it's absolutely beautiful where we are. But as usual, when we travel, there's always a problem with the connection.
But we'll see how we go. We've got
we'll
lights
see how we
shining in our
go.
nose.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello, Shelley.
Yeah, hello, Shelley. We're close to you. Hi,
Hello,
yeah.
Claire. Hi,
So
Millie.
tonight we're going to be looking at a little bit of astrology.
A little bit.
And we're going to be looking at stopping the war. And most people are in conflict with life, with relationship, with the world at this time. So we're going to be looking at bringing peace to that. So that's the subject matter for us tonight. Hello, Helen. Hello, Sher.
Hi, lovely to have our community with us.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
Good.
Thank you
If for any reason the call drops, just hang on Journeys of Awakening and we'll reconnect.
Yeah.
Just letting you
we'll
know.
do that. Yeah.
Should be fine, but just in case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So let us know where you're from, as usual. We'd like to know who we're talking to. And we love getting those hearts. Thank you for all those hearts. That's beautiful. Thank you. So let's start out this evening with a little bit of centeringness in our awareness. And wherever you are, just center yourselves into your physical body. We always concentrate on the physical body because the body is a portal into presence. Wonderful portal into presence. And we carry it around with us every single day. Hello, Margie. Hello, Lisa. So let's start out by gently shutting your eyes maybe and just bringing your focus inwards so that we can feel the body from the inside. And just bring your awareness down into your feet. Just focus your awareness on your feet and connecting with the earth beneath your feet, maybe the floor, but just visualize that your feet are connecting to Mother Gaia. So we're closing our eyes and we're bringing our awareness fully into the body, and we're dropping our awareness down to our feet, and we're feeling the connection with the earth beneath our feet. And we give thanks to the earth for her support. Everything we need comes from the earth in the physical realm. Just be aware of all the toes at the end of our feet. I know they were there this morning when you got up. You probably saw them then, but right now just check in with them from the inside. Check in with your feet and your toes from the inside. So feel the aliveness in your feet right now. And bring your awareness gently, gently up your ankles, up your shins, your calf muscles, into the knees. And the knees do such a wonderful job at supporting our body and helping us walk forward in this life. And they also carry a lot of emotional energy. At this moment, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, and quite often that plays out in uncertainty in moving forward with our life. And that may play out in soreness in the knees, maybe a bit of stiffness in the knees. Just bring your awareness into your knees, and you might like to just visualize a beautiful white light dissolving any arthritis there, any heat in your knees. Just allow the white light in. Bring your awareness up your thighs now, into your pelvic region. Just bring this beautiful energy from Mother Gaia up your feet, up your legs, into your hips. Just relaxing. Bring this energy up your spine now. Just in your imagination, just visualize a beautiful white light just entering each one of your vertebrae in turn, moving up the spine, relaxing, healing. bringing ease. And to your shoulders and your shoulder blades, relaxing your shoulders, dropping them maybe slightly. Just picture this light moving up your neck now, to the top of your head, the crown of your head. I'd like you to use your imagination to visualize this energy coming up from Mother Gaia, up your legs, up your body, up your spine, up to the top of your head, and then bursting out the top of your head, almost like a fountain. See if you can feel that energy as a fountain of beautiful light. It's celebrating its release to connect to Father Sky. And Father Sky energy comes down the crown of our head into our bodies as well, connecting with our physical form, our energetic form, our emotional body, our mental body, and bringing balance. Bring your awareness into your forehead now and smoothing away any worry lines. Just relaxing your face, your cheeks, your jaw, relaxing your tongue. Just feel a sense of deep peace and relaxation entering your eyelids. And bring your awareness to the tip of your nose. Become aware of the flow of the breath in and out of your nostrils. Just see if you can pick up a temperature gradient between the in-breath and the out-breath, and the out-breath and the in-breath. And gently resting your awareness in this flow of air, the breath of life. And let's consciously draw the air in with a deep in-breath right down to the belly, drawing the air right down to those toes, if you can imagine that. And then a beautiful, long, relaxing breath out. And as you breathe out, just drop your shoulders even more. Take another deep breath in now, right down to your solar plexus, down to your toes. And then that beautiful, long, relaxing breath out. Just let it go, let it go, let it go. Third, very deep breath in, filling your whole body up, right down to the toes and up to the crown of your head, like a big balloon. And then as you breathe out, just let go of any stresses from the day, any thoughts, any stories, any drama. Just drop it, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And just allow life to breathe you. Let the intelligence in the body draw the air in and expel the air. No doing on your part. Just follow this rhythm with your awareness, maintaining that connection between your consciousness and the flow. Not trying to control it in any way, but just being absolutely aware of this breath and the movement of the breath. And as you do that, just also add a little bit of gratitude to the intelligence that breathes you. Whether you're awake or asleep, this intelligence breathes you. And the breath is such a vital part to being human, to being alive, and to experiencing this world. Let us say a quiet thank you for this intelligence that occupies your body, that breathes you, that beats your heart, that digests your food. Say a quiet thank you to this intelligence called life, that not only looks after all the metabolic processes in your body, but also grows the food that you eat. It looks after the air that you breathe, the water that you drink. All comes from life. And we are blessed with life. We are blessed with this human experience, the richness, the contrasts of this journey. And let's bring our awareness now into our ears and become completely focused on everything we can hear right now, in this moment, just here and now. Without necessarily holding on to anything or labeling it or judging it, just bring your awareness to the faculty of sound of listening. And notice the awareness that listens, the space into which all sounds arise and all sounds leave. Just that space. Feel the space within you. Feel the space as your very awareness. It's an expansive space. It's a limitless space. It's a space of infinite stillness. This is what listens. This is your true essence. This is your true being. You are that space. And feel in that space the infinite depth of presence. The aliveness in your hands, in your legs, in your torso, in your cheeks, and in your ears. This aliveness, this presence. Feel this moment, feel in this moment your heart expanding to embrace anyone in your awareness who is in conflict, anyone who has drama or trauma in their life right now. Let's just embrace them in this beautiful, wonderful field of stillness, presence, not trying to fix, but just holding them in this space of presence. Bathing them in the cool, cool waters of stillness. And into this beautiful heart space, this bubble of love. Bring anyone right now that needs healing, maybe at a physical level or a psychological level. Bring them also into your awareness and just hold them for a moment in this space of love, of acceptance, of appreciation, of allowing. And let's expand this heart-centered bubble to encompass all those that we don't know. Holding this beautiful planet that we call home in this space. Visualize the earth surrounded in a beautiful white bubble, held in this white light. You might like to visualize the angelic realm surrounding the earth, holding the earth in this beautiful, beautiful love vibration. This power of visualization, this power of imagination is real. It has the power to change energies. And as we hold the world right now and all who live on her in this energy of love, a transformation does take place in the field. And we invite the miraculous into this space to bring around profound healing, profound transformation, and shifting awareness from fear into love. Feel your heart connecting to the very center of Mother Earth, and feel this pulse of love vibrating through the whole planet at this time. Now take a very deep breath in. drawing the air once more right down to your diaphragm, blowing your tummy up like a big ball. And a beautiful, long, relaxing breath out. And as you breathe out, just say, it is so. It is so. Take a second, very deep breath in. And a long breath out once again, saying, it is so, it is healed. A third, very deep breath in now, drawing the air right the way down your body. And as you breathe out, let's just say a beautiful thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And when you're ready, you may gently, softly open your eyes. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for joining us for a satsang. And this is certainly a bubble of love,
Thanks,
bubble of
John.
light.
Very lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Right, so we're going to be talking about stopping the war tonight.
And why are we doing
So
that?
it's very in keeping because of what's happening, obviously, energetically. But more than that, I mean, a lot of people can feel that sort of the conflict that's around us. But basically, we're heading for a new moon on the 6th of October. And that new moon is in Libra. And it's quite an interesting one because when the sun and the moon come together, they basically form what we call a conjunction in the sky. So they're at the same degree in the same sign. And this new moon, we've got joining the sun and the moon, Mars, which is the planet of war. But all three of them are in the sign of peace, balance, and harmony. So it's quite an interesting connection, coupled to which they're also in an aspect called a quincunx to the planet called of Uranus. So what can happen around this time leading up to the new moon, and just during the new moon and after the new moon, is that there can be this kind of build-up of kind of angst, of rebellion, of people on different sides, of people fighting, conflicting, not getting along, having differences of opinion and not being able to resolve them. But there's kind of advice from the heavens or guidance from the heavens, which says hold the middle space, which is Libra. Libra's holding the middle space. And choosing, we can always choose whether we're going to move into war with someone or a situation or with life, or we can choose to actually opt for peace rather. That's always an option. Doesn't mean you can't stand up for what you believe in, but you don't have to go to war. So that's basically what gave rise to this. And then in addition to that, just astrologically, it's quite good news for a lot of people, is that we've had a lot of retrograde energy for a long time. A lot of planets have been retrograde, and they'll all start going direct this month. So Pluto starts going direct on the 8th, followed by Saturn on the 11th, followed by Jupiter, the planet of abundance, on the 18th. So what that can mean is that things have been that have been regressing or not visible or not working or not moving forward, and you kind of feel like Groundhog Day, doing the same thing the same day, the same thing different day, very often. So hopefully that we'll see some shift. There's a kind of a shifting, and a new moon is always a time for new beginnings, to plant new seeds. So to plant new seeds for the new month ahead, which will be based on tolerance, cooperation, finding the middle ground, being able to see both sides, mediating, and moving forward in a peaceful way, but moving forward, because there definitely seems to be a feeling that things are going to start moving forward a little bit. So that's good news.
Yeah, so it's maybe to acknowledge the conflict that's around because of Mars, the conflict energy, to acknowledge the conflict in our lives, but to also know that there's a holding energy as a time for resolution, a time for sorting things out. And it's, I believe that nothing is absolutely destined for us. We're co-creators in reality, and there are certain flows of energy and certain likelihoods of certain situations, but we individually, each one of us, have immense power within us to consciously influence the outcome and circumstances and situations, not only of our own lives, but also the world around us.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when you look at Mars, you know, none of the planets are good or bad, but Mars is seen as a malefic, which is a difficult planet, but there's always the other side of it. And Mars also relates to energy, outward energy, moving forward, goals, actually putting energy into projects. So if we can put the energy into the project that we want or the direction that we want, but in a peaceful way, as opposed to kind of demanding that we have our way. That's what this, and I mean, they were all three of them in a row at the same degree. So it's very intense. But also, I feel that it's actually quite positive. Being in that angle as well to Uranus. Uranus is the planet of change. So it kind of says to me, hold the energy of the middle ground. Don't go to war. And in that way, you can actually bring about change. But in a way where you're not actually having to force it. You're not having to force your way or force somebody to believe what you believe in or to go your way. And you don't have to go to conflict. You don't have to go into conflict because that never works anyway.
Yeah.
The law against anything never worked, did it?
Yeah. And I think that's the important important point is you have force, which is generally the pattern of war. It's force. And that is how a lot of people operate in their lives. They try to force situations and circumstances to conform to their wishes. They try and force other people to go along in the direction that they want them to go along so that they can feel a certain way. And the other one is power. Now, power works very differently to force. Power is the only true power that there is, the power of love, and that comes from the heart. And what is love? Love is about allowing, accepting, appreciating. It's about expansive. It's about opening. It's about embracing. It's about empathy and compassion and caring. That's love. Now that is very much a holding energy. So love holds. And in the holding, there's an infinite possibility for transformation to happen. Not for forced transformation to happen, but for something to organically happen. And Albert Einstein said there's two ways to live your life. One is if nothing's a miracle, and the other one is if everything is a miracle. And what happens is when we hold a space for love, hold a space for allowing and appreciating, that's when this miraculous energy is able to come in and make the change without any doing. And I know, for example, if we have a look at the protests around the world, and maybe people do need to stand up and protest, but what's more important than that is the energy that they hold collectively, individually and collectively in their hearts. Because if we go to war against something, we are empowering that which we're fighting. And we know that very well from the war on drugs or the war on rape or the war on cancer. Those have all grown because we're feeding it with an energy. So it's to realize that there is the power behind transformation comes from the energy, the vibration, the field within us. And if we want true transformation, if we would like a new earth to be born, let's not feed it with fear and anxiety and anger and resistance. Let's feed the birthing process with love, a totally different vibration. And it is scary for the mind because the mind does want to go out and carve its intentions into the world using physical force. But power of love is trumps all physical force. So I believe that right now, in order to dissolve the warlike nature of Mars, is to come back to balance, which we spoke about last week. And balance is always coming back to your center, and your center is your heart center. So wherever conflict is in your life, wherever it's in your perception, come back to your heart, come back to your center, and then you are an ingredient for peace, an ingredient for a new world to be birthed.
No, it's very, very profound because whatever we are feeling in any one moment, that is what we're going to manifest. That's just the way of the universe.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. So when we get into an agitated state, an anxious state, a worried state, a fearful state, which all of us as humans experience, it's just to notice the state within us, because that is the exact thing that we actually radiate back, magnetize back. So it's just it's also very many times we're in war with ourselves. If we are have conflict with someone else out there, it's just to gently turn the mirror and face ourselves and say, which part of me is at war in this moment? So I'm retaliating against this person or projecting onto this person or this situation or the world or the government or the whoever, the shop assistant, whoever it is, what's going on inside me? Where's the conflict in me? And then to just step back and to say, okay, let me deal with my conflict inside me. In the same way, just holding space for that conflict. Yes, I'm feeling anxious and I'm projecting it out. I don't need to project it out. I can just let that feeling move through me, notice it, acknowledge it, let it flow through me. Because that's the point that we usually go to war with somebody else out there. And then we feel like we're resolving it because it almost feels powerful, because this isn't fair, and there's a lot of emphasis this month on fairness and justice. This isn't just, this isn't fair, this shouldn't be happening, whatever that is. And then we build that up in ourselves that it shouldn't be happening, and we're blocked. And then basically we can't understand why things aren't flowing, because we're literally blocking the flow of energy because we're so worried about it, and we're in such conflict and torn up, sort of tied up in so many knots.
Yeah, and it's really important at this time to realize how powerful we are individually.
Yeah.
We would like to protest collectively, yes, but let's do the work individually. That's really, really what's important here. So the old way of seeing the world, the way we were brought up to believe it, is that we're all different, all separate, all, they say divide and conquer. So we all see ourselves as separate, and rather like pieces in a jigsaw puzzle, that each piece in the jigsaw puzzle is different, separate. And yeah, we are all unique and different. But the underneath all that is the energy, and the energetic world doesn't work like separate pieces of a puzzle. The energetic world works through a principle of a hologram. And the hologram is very different to a jigsaw puzzle in that a hologram, every single part of a hologram contains the whole. And if you change one part of a hologram, you change the whole. And, in the good book it says, as above, so below. And that's really what it is about here. So the real work of transformation that needs to take place on this planet is not necessarily forcing change on the outside, but it's actually going into this power that we have on the inside. As Michelle said, it's the power of feeling. It's a power of feeling. We don't get what we want. We get what we are. And it's for us to be the change we desire to see in the world. And if we can find the peace on the inside, so we dissolve the war on the outside. And, the world, according to Carl Jung, is a mirror. And the reason we're in the state we are in the world is a reflection of the worlds that we carry within us. Yeah. Because there is no out there. The world here is the inside and the outside. And it's to recognize that if you really want change to take place, whether it's in a global situation or whether it's just between you and a partner or you and a family member or you and a work colleague, let the change happen here on the inside. As you change on the inside, miraculously things change on the outside. If you have a conflict with someone, you bring them into that bubble that we spoke about earlier in the meditation, the bubble of presence, of accepting and allowing, and we hold them in our imagination in that state, not needing them to change, but just loving the moment, loving them for who they are in this moment, just holding them in this space of acceptance and appreciation, appreciating that they are playing an important role in your life for your own healing. And if you hold them in that state, there is a miraculous transformation of energy, and you will find more than likely change will happen on the outside. But you're not needing to make that change happen on the outside, because when you make the change on the inside, you let go of the need for the change on the outside, because you've made the change. And the world is about how you perceive it and how you feel it on the inside. So if you change on the inside, you don't need the world on the outside to change. But paradoxically, the moment you let go of the need for things to be different on the outside, the miraculous comes in, and more than likely change happens on the outside as well. That person that you were in conflict with suddenly shifts. So how did that happen? Because you let go of that dance, that karmic, cosmic dance that you've been doing for such a long time. You let it go into the field of acceptance, and suddenly there was that transformation.
Yeah, and it goes contrary to what a lot of us have been taught to believe, that, you want something, so you got to fight for it. That's it's one of those things that it's a very common way of phrasing something.
Yeah,
you got to fight for that, fight for it. As
Peace.
Opposed to, if you want something to manifest in your life, to actually see what is known in NLP, they call it a meta outcome. So let's just say you're in conflict with someone, and you have these two people, and you're mediating, and the two people want to basically air their grievances and produce more conflict, because now they each want to have their voice heard. If you stop and you say, what's your actual meta outcome, which means what do you really want from this? Most of the time, somebody will say, we want to just be in harmony. We want to get on. And you start there. As opposed to starting with the conflict, you start with, oh, you want to be in harmony. Okay. So can you visualize, can feel what it would feel like to be in harmony? And when you do that with two people, the most miraculous thing happened. I remember doing that with a friend of mine and her daughter. And they were at each other's throats, just about. And I said, what do you really want? And both of them said they want to be able to get on really well, and they want to have a close relationship again. So I said, well, then why don't you start with that now? And they did. And within 5 minutes, they were hugging each other. And it from there, their relationship started to actually improve again. So it's contrary to what we've been taught, which is, I've got to fight for this. We've got to resolve all of this, and we've got to work out why all this conflict's there. And sometimes you can't work that out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just different. Yeah. Or sometimes you're just at different stages of your life. And there is no resolution in terms of making you believe what I believe and making us on the same page. So if you can just say, okay, I'm prepared to accept you the way you are, can you accept me the way I am? And you feel that is actually what then produces the change. Not fighting for it. And not trying to organize it and direct it and manipulate it, which is what we think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
We think we have to manipulate things.
The part of us that wants to manipulate things, the part of us that wants to force change, is actually the mind. It's the mind that creates war. Always the mind. It's the mind and the mind, the mind. And we've gone through a period of time for maybe a couple of centuries where the mind has dominated. Very much the mind has dominated, and war has dominated. It's not our true nature. Our true nature comes from the heart. That's our true nature. The mind has perverted our true nature. And if we would like to see a world of greater compassion and greater empathy and greater caring and greater equality, then it's to come out of the mind with its division, with its judgmentals, with its perceptions of separation, and come back into the heart. And the heart works not through understanding like the mind does. And the mind has a lot of needs. The need to be understood, for example, that's the need of the mind. And the need for fairness, that's what the mind has. When you come back into the field of the heart, you come back into acceptance. But miraculously, when you accept something, there's a ripple going out into the world, and the transformation happens. You start to live in a more just world because you're living in the heart, as against trying to understand it and trying to give rules and regulations to enforce fairness in the world. You start to be it in your heart. I believe in the next few years, the greatest realization which we will have as a species is that we are making it all up. We've always been making it all up. We are so immensely powerful within us. And the part of us that's making it up is the head, the mind, with its sort of judgmental perception of reality and its fearful and its vulnerability. When you come back into the heart, you carry on making it up, but you make it up from a totally different level of vibration. And instead of it with the needs, you start to do it with the joy of living and the knowledge of abundance and freedom, that all comes from the heart, not from the head. The head is waiting for freedom when situations and circumstances allow you to be free. The heart doesn't wait for anything. The heart is free in this moment. It can feel whatever it wants to feel in this moment. That's true freedom.
Yeah.
So this shift that we're going through is a journey from the head back into the heart. And this shift that we're going through is supported cosmically. There are flows of energy, and right now we're in the middle of a beautiful flow of transformation energy. But it's also a planet, as I said before, of free will. So we have to choose the world that we want to live in.
Every moment.
And that's the power we have within us. Every single moment we've got to choose. Do we want to go to war in this particular moment, or do we want to come back to peace? Because it's a coming back to peace. It's not a looking for peace. It's not a searching for peace. It's not a finding peace. It's always a coming back to peace. In any conflict, it's not a navigating peace out there. It's coming back to peace within us. And that's and the moment we create the peace within us, we change the field. And every situation arises from the field. All physical matter comes from the field that we're generating, and the way we connect with the field is from our hearts more than our heads.
Yeah, and very often we go to war because we don't feel good about ourselves.
Yeah.
We feel vulnerable and scared and small, and as a result of that we go to war to make us feel bigger and more powerful. So if I go to war with you, I'm more powerful, and you're not. We put on our armor of war, and then we think that we're actually going to resolve things, and it's the opposite happens.
Yeah.
And vulnerability, I guess you could call it vulnerability, where you're not at war. You're just real. You're authentic. You're open.
Vulnerable.
You're vulnerable is actually more powerful than putting on a suit of armor and going to war.
Yeah.
But it makes us feel briefly, the ego likes it, makes us feel like we're better than, you're doing something that's wrong, and therefore I'm superior. It's ego. So when you drop the ego, there is no war. And when you drop the ego, you realize that you're not separate from that person anyway, because we're all connected. And I think that's going to be a realization that we get over the next few years as well.
Yeah,
it's becoming more and more now. If you watch and listen to the work of Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza and really amazingly brilliant people all over the world, and that Einstein and all of them, energy is it. We are all energetic. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. So we can change energy with our thoughts, and we do. So if you want something to change, it's to visualize, think about, put your attention on how you would feel if that changed. You want your house to sell. How would you feel if your house sold, if you really need the money or you really want to move on? How would you feel in that moment? That's what you can focus on. You want to live in a place, you want to live in a different place. Focus on what kind of place you'd love to live in, and imagine it. Imagine the grass underneath your feet, if that inspires you. And imagine putting your hand in water and leaning against a tree. Imagine it, feel it with your whole being. That's where the manifestation comes from. It comes from the feeling realm. So the thoughts and the feeling is actually what magnetizes it. If you want peace, visualize peace, feel peace. You want abundance, feel abundance. Look at the stars, look at the clouds, look at the flowers, look at the blades of grass. Feel the abundance. And then you'll feel it inside you that magnetizes it towards you.
Yeah, if you want love, feel love.
Yeah.
Love is the strongest vibration we can have. And so if you would like to see love in your life, in the world, create that feeling inside you. Create the feeling of love. What is love? Love is that joyous feeling of connection.
Yeah, it is.
It's a connection feeling, and this is the shift that we're going through. We've lived our lives very much as separate, relying on others to give us stuff, or for us to dominate nature to give us stuff. The new way is to feel this feeling of connection. The life that beats your heart also grows the fruit on the trees. It also grows the vegetables. It's the same energy. And you're not separate from that energy. You are an intimate part
Can't
of
be
that
separate.
field, of that energy. And that is what love is. And you cannot have war when you have that feeling of connection. Your left hand would not fight your right hand. That's insane. But it's when you feel that the one hand is not you. And it's a misperception. It is you. Your brother is you. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Why? Because thy neighbor is thyself. It's just another aspect, another expression of life. You are sort of one expression of life, and the other is another expression of life. But it's the same life. It's the same life. It's one life. One life. And that's what the perception of love is, to start to recognize that oneness. My definition of love is a sense of oneness in your awareness. Yeah. The more you have a feeling of otherness, the more separate you are. You're walking in the direction of fear and anger and war. When you have a feeling of connection, of sameness, of oneness, that's love. That's love. And that's what the world needs now. Not so much this judgmental mind of separation, but the awareness of inclusion. That is what dissolves war. You don't fight for peace. It's an impossibility. Yeah. You dissolve war by changing your heart. Don't change your heart, changing your vibration of frequency into that alignment with your heart. Feel the feeling. The power of creation lies in feeling, not in forcing change on the outside. Yeah. And just from a practical point of view, I know that sugar, for example, creates feelings of anxiety and fear and separation. And we, I believe, as a culture, have so immersed ourselves in sugar. It's in basically all processed food. And if you would like to start creating feelings of inner peace, try and make a concerted effort not to put so much sugar into your diet and not to put processed food in your diet. Go back to eating food as nature made it, not as a factory made it. And that will allow you, I believe, to open that heart field within you more. So if you can think of sugar almost as a poison of your spirit, a poison of your joy, a poison of your joy of life, then you won't see it as something, as a treat. You see it as a poison, and then it's easy to give up sugar if you see it differently. So that's just it's just a practical way of making a change in our life to reduce the amount of processed food and the amount of sugars that we have in our diet.
Yeah, and what I'd like to just say is, if you have got someone that you're in conflict with, one of the quickest ways to dissolve conflict, if you can, with somebody else, is to just stop talking and to look at each other in the eyes and soften your eyes. That's it. Try it. I promise you, I don't believe that there would be war if everybody did that. Just holding space for softening your eyes, coming into silence and looking into somebody's eyes. And if you're having a fight with yourself, looking into your own eyes and softening your eyes, it dissolves conflict instantly. It really does. And it's the simplest thing. Yeah. And you don't have to talk. You don't have to resolve it. You don't have to come up with any clever ideas or any clever agreements. There's just and that's the knowingness, that's the connection that we have. Because in the looking into someone's eyes with gentleness, not like this, gentleness, the barriers dissolve and you realize that, oh, there's actually no separation. You are me and I am you. We are one. Oh, then who am I fighting? That's how we stop the war.
Yeah, we're fighting ourselves. It's to realize that the world out there is a reflection, and it's to look with kinder eyes.
Yeah.
And it starts with self. So looking in the mirror with kinder eyes and seeing yourself through kinder perceptions. Sure. And then looking at the other with kinder eyes. Look at that person that you're in conflict with kindness, with softness. But it does start with self. It does start with self. And when you sit there, it's to stop talking. It's not to give someone the silent treatment, is it?
No. Yeah. It's not.
No.
But it's
We're
in
not
that
talking about
moment
that. We're
where
talking
you're
about holding
actually,
that space.
where you're in conflict, and there's a slinging match going on, which never gets in anybody anywhere, as we all know, is to just stop. Yeah. If you can do that, if the pain bodies haven't gone out of whack,
Out of control. Yeah, the pure pain
because then
bodies.
you're not going to stop. But
Yeah.
if the pain bodies, or if one of you is present enough to just say, let's stop. Yeah. If you can at that moment stop, and just look at each other, if you can do that, even if you can't look at each other, if you can just stop and get some space. And then when you come back together, to just not have words, just connect with your eyes. I've seen miracles happen with that, and I've experienced miracles with that as well.
Correct, yeah.
Grown men sobbing after 1 minute
Yeah.
of looking into someone's eyes. It would change the world if we did that. Yeah. But we can change it in our own way.
And part of that, that we can. And part of that is when you look without history. Look without your story.
Right now.
Just look with presence at the isness of this moment. Look at the other person or the other party, whatever it is, with presence. It's history, it's story, it's all mind stuff that separates us. But in presence, we're united. Love can only be experienced in presence. There's no other place you can experience love other than presence. And the only thing that blocks presence is a story in our head. They say, I think it was Rumi or one of them said, the only thing that blocks God from our awareness is the mind. To burn up the mind with the fire of presence. And it is the mind. The mind is what creates conflict. The mind is what creates war.
Stories.
And it's the heart that comes back to uniting. And the heart is an organ of presence. That's what it is. It's always beating. It's always here. It's always now in the present moment. And it's a shift away from the story that we've been telling ourselves and come back into acceptance, which is the heart, which is presence. And if we drop the story, if we drop the history, boy, there can be no conflict. Because in the present moment, in presence, there is no conflict. There's nothing that needs to be defended. And the ego is always on a self-repair mission. It's always on a self-repair mission. And when you're present, there's no need for self-repair. There's no need for any barriers or any boundaries or any walls. There's no need in presence. And as those walls come down, so the war ends. Yeah. Give peace a chance, said John Lennon.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you. Yeah. If you've enjoyed what we've shared tonight, please press the like button. It helps get the video out.
Apparently.
And press the share button, the like and the share button. And if you enjoy journeying with us, we have an online monthly support platform called Inner Space. And we have our first meetup for the month of October on Tuesday night on Zoom. We have an hour and a half's call there. And this month we're looking at
balance in relationships.
Yeah.
So we're going to be working on this theme.
Yeah.
A lot.
Balance in relationships, ending the war in relationships. Yeah, and I
Beautiful
believe
meditation.
the quality of our life is really determined by the quality of our relationships. So this month, astrologically, is a good month to work on relationships. So we have a beautiful meditation, which really does shift. And we have some beautiful journal work. And then we have 2 Zoom link-ups.
Creative exercise as well.
Creative exercise, yes.
Yep.
And the whole month is really, $350? $350 join us for a whole month.
Yeah.
And all the details are at journeysofAwakening.com. Go on to our website and have a look at Inner Space monthly platform. And it's a beautiful community, and there's a lot of sharing and a lot of support among the people. So we'd love to have you there. Okay. So we lead you out for the beautiful meditation. Okay. Thank you.
All right, great. Settle yourselves in wherever you are. Get comfy in your seat, or if you're lying on the bed, just really get yourself comfortable. Nestle in. Take a nice, deep, beautiful breath in. And then a relaxing, releasing breath out. And another beautiful breath by expanding your belly as you breathe in. And bringing the breath all the way up to the top of your chest. And then on the out breath, let it all go. Let the shoulders relax. Breathe all that breath out. And then a third deep, beautiful breath in. All the way up, 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 up into the chest, up into the lungs. Fill them up. And then let it all go. And just drop the shoulders. And allow yourself to be breathed. Notice this breath. Our breath is our balance point. It can and does bring us back into balance. Anytime we need it. It's the most accessible thing we have. So really get to know your breath. Get to know how it works, what's comfortable for you. Just noticing the breath as it enters in through your nostrils and leaves through your mouth or through your nose. And with each out breath, relaxing and releasing a little bit more. Allowing a beautiful wave of relaxation to move through you all the way from above your head. A beautiful cleansing wave of breath and air and space. Moving through, spiraling through your head, down through your neck, into your shoulders, down into your arms, into your hands. Imagine this beautiful, spacious energy moving and spiraling through your body, through your torso, clearing out any tightness, any resistance, any illness, any disease, any blocks. Bringing this breath down into your hips, your pelvis, into your legs, all the way down through your legs into your feet, down into Mother Earth, grounding you. And just feel this beautiful earth holding us, supporting us. Feel the nurturing that you receive from Mother Earth. The love, the support, the nourishment, the water, the ground, our food, our shelter. At the same time, feel the beauty, the light, the air from above, from Father Sky. Feel these two energies, male and female, above and below, meeting in this beautiful sacred center of the heart. Connecting in with the heart, feeling into your heart. Imagine that you could expand the heart on each in-breath, like you do a lung. Imagine this heart opening, like a beautiful flower. Imagine your flower, your heart flower. Imagine this flower to be opening and opening and opening, endlessly opening, flowing and rippling that beautiful heart energy, petling out into the universe, sending waves of harmony, waves of peace, waves of unity. waves of connection. Sending out waves of acceptance. Waves of love. Rippling out just as that flower keeps on opening. Let that beauty come from your heart out into the universe, rippling out forever. Energy is never ever distracted. It continues endlessly. When we send energy out, we are sending energy out. And it's going to keep on radiating out from us. And now just bringing your focus back into your heart. And from this beautiful heart space, bring to mind or bring into your awareness any situation which you would like healed in your life. Any conflict that you would like resolved. And as soon as you have that inside you, might even be a conflict you have with yourself, place it right in the middle of that heart flower. And just surround it with your love. Your gentleness, your softness, your openness. Until it just dissolves. And a ripple of love and peace and connection ripples out to that situation or to that person. And then ripples all the way back into you again. Feeling into your heart space. Feeling the peace. Feeling the balance. Feeling the harmony. Now taking a beautiful deep breath in and a releasing, relaxing breath out. And another beautiful breath in and out. That's it. When you're ready, you can gently open your eyes.
That was lovely. Thank you. Isn't that beautiful? Carry that energy into your new week, and I promise you conflicts will dissipate. Absolutely. They will.
Quickly.
Let's choose an affirmation card. I'll choose one.
You choose.
Okay, we're going to choose green one. Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, there we go.
Very simple one. I choose love. It's backwards. I choose love. It's a heart-centered one. I choose love.
I choose love too.
That's the affirmation that we have for the week coming up. I choose love.
Type in, I choose love.
I choose love.
I choose love. Come on, everybody. I choose love. Let's all choose love.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's make that commitment. I choose love. Not fear, not anxiety, not conflict, not resentment, not guilt. I choose love. Yeah. Bless you all. Thank you for being with us tonight. And we look forward to catching up with you. Well, some of you tomorrow night, others on the inner space on Tuesday night. And otherwise next
week.
Sunday. Next Sunday.
Here we go.
Love
I
you
choose
all.
love. I choose love. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Nighty night.
Night, everyone.